Welcome to Two Guys on Crisis. My name's Camden.
My name's Hayden.
Today we're going to be talking about pollution and on how it is hurting our environment. It is not okay, guys. I promise you, pollution is a really bad thing.
So, what's it about?
So, pollution itself is it's introducing harmful materials into our environment and our oxygen that we breathe, Hayden.
The oxygen that we're breathing
Yeah,
in, like right
currently.
now.
Yeah, like this stuff can give you cancer. It can give you popcorn lung. You don't want it.
So the air is essentially a big vape,
Yeah.
is what you're telling me. Is
Yes.
what we're making it.
Yeah, that's quite literally what we're making it.
Jesus.
I know.
Okay. Well. Where's it happening?
Where is it happening? It's happening everywhere. Right here. Right in our very own houses. In the
In my
can.
room right now.
Yes, if you have a trash can, it is happening in that trash can. Because you put that trash can into a giant landfill. Which takes up, it was 200 acres per landfill. Did you know
Oh,
that the
geez.
Ohio landfill, like that is in Belfast, outside of Pennsylvania, is almost as taller than the highest point in Ohio?
Where High Point is?
No, the landfill. It is almost taller than the highest point in
I
Ohio.
know.
Yes.
The landfill's almost taller than High Point.
Yes, like it got so high one time they had to cut it so it wouldn't reach higher than High Point.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, who's involved in this
Do you
currently?
do you want the straight? Do you want the straight facts right now? It's you.
Let's hear the straight facts.
It's you. And me. And
All
Mrs.
of us?
Reed. It's everyone. Even your grandmother. Even your great grandma's carcass is involved in this.
That's jeez.
Yeah, I know. It's a
Well,
wild stuff.
you got any facts or statistics that can back this?
Who do I look like? Some
Back the claim?
chum? Of course. Humans produce 2 billion metric tons, 2 billion tons of trash every year. Not in like our entire lifespan. In a year. Like, and probably half that's from you.
I wouldn't say half.
Okay, my bad.
I'm contributing.
25%, then 25% is Schaefer. But
Okay.
anyway, hold on. It gets worse. So you know how people always like cows be releasing that greenhouse gas, methane, from their poop every time, right?
Yeah.
That's chump change to the 80% of CO2 emissions that we contribute every year,
Wow.
on
Well,
average.
why is this? Why is this happening? Why?
Why is it happening? I mean, you got factories polluting our air. You got the landfill, the massive landfills. It is harming our environment and our health. There are there are a couple viewpoints that about this, such
Yeah.
yeah, such as environmentalists. They're like totally against it. They want us to use completely biodegradable things. They want us to recycle. They want us to cut back on CO2 emissions. All the good stuff, right? Everyone likes that. Unless if it's too environmentally friendly, right? And then, but on the other side, you got the industrialist, which are the big factories that be making money. So off of the CO2 emissions that are causing that 80%, their toxic waste that they're just throwing into rivers. But you know, some factories are eco-friendly and they try to cut back on their CO2 emissions. They try to track where all their trash is going and where they are putting the toxic waste at. And you also got the government who will put laws in place who will just help out. Sometimes they're iffy about it because of money, but you know it happens.
Always. But who is affected? Like,
Okay, I'm gonna give it to you straight. Do
excuse
you
me.
plan
I
on having
apologize.
kids?
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, we're gonna be affected by this. You're gonna be affected by
Oh,
this. I'm gonna be
my
affected
great
by
my
this.
great my great grandchildren.
Yes, especially your great
My great
grandchildren.
great
Do you know who's
my
gonna
great
also
great
be affected by this?
who?
Mrs. Schaefer getting proposed to. Because it's all gonna be in a landfill. Like, honestly, like how
So
does she
that
plan?
so basically you're saying that this pollution may or may not cause Matt to say no or
No.
to say never mind on
Yeah,
doing it.
like if the pollution
You're
gets so
saying you're
bad, he's
saying that
not gonna
you're
drop to
saying
Ratney.
the air is gonna be so dirty that he can't breathe enough to
Yes.
get down on one. Oh my
Yeah, I
gosh.
know. Like it would suck. I really want Mrs. Schaefer to be Mrs. Reed, but we got to get back to the facts.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Basically,
Well, what's
it's
being done about this
hold on,
currently?
hold on, hold on. Before we get there, it's
My
affecting our
fault. My fault.
animals. Do you have pets?
I did.
You did. What happened?
Cancer.
Do you know what
Wait.
do you know what caused that? Pollution caused that. The air that he breathed caused his lymph nodes to get cancerized.
Oh God. Well. So other people don't have to go through this. What's being done? Like who's trying to prevent this? Are there like activists going around? What's going on to stop it?
Hayden, what are you yapping about? We're in 2025. There's always gonna be activists. There's always gonna be
Okay,
organizations.
of course. Fair point.
Activists have made multiple public awareness ads. They have made multiple campaigns to get legislation done about this. Is
Jeez.
do you know who
Nobody's
also?
listening.
No. The government's listening. The government, they have passed
Government's always
laws.
listening.
They have passed laws for pollution. They have made it where you can't just dump your trash anywhere you want. They made it where littering is illegal.
Jeez.
Like,
Well,
it's so. They've even made programs. The government has made specialized programs to help. Like, the Adopt a Highway? The government did that. Just to help with the pollution along the side of our highways. So thoughtful.
jeez. At least they're doing something.
Yeah, for once. Except making
Alright,
Matt
well,
propose to Miss Schaefer.
of course. This is it's
Yeah.
blasphemy.
It's
But
tragic.
anyways, it's tragic. But anyways, how could the people that are listening, Miss Schaefer, how could Miss Schaefer help in this? How can Miss Schaefer help stop
Well, to start
and make
with.
Matt propose and stop the pollution
to
from
start-
stopping it?
Okay, to stop the pollution from affecting her proposal. First, she has to say yes to Matt. Which we know it's going to be
Of course,
really
of course,
hard
of course.
because she only views him as a roommate. But it's okay.
Anyways, yeah.
We can help. She can help by recycling. Even though that also produces CO2 emissions. It's just a big circle sometimes. But recycling is the first step to reducing our plastic intake in the landfills, which takes
Of course.
easily 1,000 years just to degrade it. It's really bad. Using biodegradable containers. Like, do you have a compost pit at your house?
No.
Shame. It's okay. You should start one. It helps with the environment.
It helps
but-
stop my cancer-giving air.
Yes, it does. It truly does. But biodegradable containers, if you just view it as an option, and better than these big governments, this big plastic company that's trying to milk you for everything you have. It's trying to milk your udder, Satan.
It's like those cows giving off methane.
Yeah. It's almost
Well,
as
anyways.
it's almost as bad as a Holocaust. It is almost as bad as Gavin. Gavin
Yeah.
is
Oh,
a
yeah.
reason for all of this pollution, Hayden.
From using the AI because it's using all the water. That's what Miss Schaefer taught us.
Yes.
About. I remember that.
Yes, Hayden.
Oh. But
It
geez,
is
all right,
almost like
anyways,
methamphetamine and running from the cops.
like Miss Schaefer's newest quote to the quote.
Yes.
Oh.
It is almost as bad as comparing Hitler to Jesus if his plastic companies are Hitler and Tullus is Jesus.
Okay. Well, anyways, Camden. Any final thoughts with this? Got
I
any
just
final thoughts on this case.
want to let everyone think about Hitler and Jesus for a second.
Jesus.
I
We're
want
not
every-
Kanye, Camden.
I want everyone to think about how bad these plastic companies are doing to the environment. How bad you have done with the environment. How many times you have littered. How many times you have made a federal offense. Littering is a federal offense nowadays. So bad. But I just want everyone to just think about that one piece of paper that they could have recycled, that one can that they could have brought down and got 10 cents for. Yes, Hayden. Even the Mountain Dew can, you can get for easily 5 cents. Not 5 cents. Yeah, it's 5 cents a ton,
You know
isn't it?
what? After this, I'm gonna recycle this.
Yes. But most of
I'm gonna
all,
recycle it
I want everyone to think of why Matt is not proposing to shave.
because I don't recycle these. That's
You
why.
should. You could be
That's the
making money.
reason why.
You could be making
I
money.
could be making Schaefer. I could be making Matt propose. It's
Yes.
my fault. I'm sorry, Miss Schaefer.
But
I'm
like I
sorry.
said, for the ending, I I just want everyone to think about why Matt has yet to propose to Miss Schaefer. Because clearly it's
All our fault.
something. Whether he's waiting for the perfect moment up in Italy or at the top of Mount Everest, he still has yet to propose. So that sucks. Anyway, thank you all for queuing in. Thank you, Mrs. Reed. Well, soon to be Mrs. Reed. And thank you, Hayden. And remember, 2 guys, 1 crisis.
Anyways, guys, are we still going?